Louisiana beer reviews. Boatswain American IPA. 6.7%. Boatswain has a 79 international bitterness unit on it. I'll show you some things real fast to get these out of the way. Talking about artifacts, which I don't really have anymore. I do have a lot of old books. Here is a comic magazine, The Incredible Hulk, number 181 from 1974, November. It's in very good shape, very fine condition. This is the introduction to Wolverine. He actually appeared in the issue before this, but only at the last page. And then he came in and they fought the Hulk, Wolverine, and Wendigo fighting in Canada. And then in 182, Wolverine disappeared after the first page. So, and then that was a popular character, Weapon X. That's what he was called, Weapon X. And then in 1975, when they debuted the all-new, all-different X-Men, with Giant Size X-Men #1, and then number 94, Wolverine became probably the most popular X-Men character of the modern era. Here's a book called The Limits of Liberty Between Anarchy and Leviathan by James M. Buchanan from 1975, University of Chicago Press. Very interesting book where he talks about what's the best type of government to have. Well, he's saying the best type of government is no government. But then he talks about the practicality of that and how that can't be really sustained. And then he uses game theory to show that it's best to have as little government as possible, and post-constitutional contract, the theory of public goods. So he has little charts showing why it's better to have as limited a government as possible, so you would have freedom. And he's got little all kind of charts throughout the book where he tries to demonstrate, in his opinion, his theory of government. The threat of Leviathan, majority voting under benefit cost constraints. So this is a very good book, and naturally it's promoting a right-wing viewpoint, and certainly federalism opposed to what we have today, the centralized government. Anyway, so that's a good book to read. All right, nice hiss. Now, Boatswain beers are produced by Minhas Craft Brewery, Joseph Huber Brewing, in Monroe, Wisconsin. A lot of smoke here, a lot of smoke, which I think you can see. They produce this beer for their own Rhinelander portfolio and for their Trader Joe's store. So the Boatswain labeled beers are the private label, one of the private label beers for Trader Joe's, and I bought this in Baton Rouge. And I was saying that it was $2.99 for these bottles. I was wrong. It's $2.19 for all of those bottles. They were all $2.19 a piece, $2.19, and it's a 22-ounce bomber bottle. Okay, we're getting a thin, cream-colored head here, and now the sun is right up there about 70 degrees angle and 68-degree angle. And it's an orange, sort of opaque, but it's semi, opaque, because you can kind of see through it. And as far as sediment, I don't see any. I do see some stray bubbles. Okay, so it's kind of clear. Let's go with the smell assessment. When you're drinking IPAs, you're thinking they're going to be citrusy and piney like the West Coast, but this is not. This is more of a caramel, not really, but more towards that, and malty. So this, to me, is more of an English-style IPA initially, so I don't know why they're saying American. But, when you get these store brand beers, you don't know what you're getting. So let's go with the flavor. Let's go with the flavor. It's very hot out here already at 9:20 a.m. Extreme humidity, typical Louisiana humidity, close to 100%. So it's hot, sticky. There's hardly any breeze, and then it's going to get so warm and humid that you'll start having rain showers. So we get so much rain. I just cut the grass 4 days ago. It needed to be cut after 3 days. But I mean, all you'd be doing is cutting grass all the time. You can cut it 5 o'clock in the evening, and the next day around 7 in the morning, it started looking kind of bad. That's how fast it'll grow. So you really do about every 12 hours. Sweet, malty. There's a little hop bitterness there. A little bread crust. This might be a good introductory IPA. I mean, it's saying 79 IBUs. I don't know what. It tastes more like 30 IBUs. Could be old. I see no kind of date. That's before date. When you get in IPAs, you do want to look at that, but they don't. Oh wait, there's a code 15/121/17. That doesn't mean anything to me. But it might have faded. But these IBU numbers I find are very deceptive. I mean, not intentionally so. I think they're saying it's such and such IBU, but you'll get one that's a 35 IBU, and to me, it'll be sometimes a lot bitterer or more bitter than one that might be 80 IBUs. So it's hard to say with that. And even with alcohol, some beers will be, they'll say 10% alcohol. You can't taste any alcohol in it. And then you drink the whole bottle, it doesn't even, you feel like you didn't have any alcohol like that. Lobotomy Bach. They say 10% alcohol. Didn't taste any alcohol in it, and I never felt like I had drank a 10% alcohol beer. It's really strange sometimes, but I find that's usually the case with these kind of smaller companies. You run into these anomalies. Anyway, this is not bad. I mean, it has a good flavor, and in fact, I kind of find it has a more enjoyable flavor than that IBUs seersucker, because it's not as lemony and citrusy. This does have a citrus aspect, but it's more of a orange peel type thing. So if I had to choose between this and the IBUs seersucker for a summer beer, I would go with this, even though this is heavier in alcohol, but it does seem to have a lighter body than that one. This body is like more on the lighter side, and the seersucker was more on the medium side. And the drinkability may be a little higher. I don't know. I gave that a B. I'll give this a B+. It's a shade better. And look at the price. $2.19 for a bomber, and the IBUs is $6.99 for a 6-pack. So, all right. Well, Laissez-les bon temps roulé. This is a very good beer, believe it or not, from Minhas. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to sweltering, but not unusual, southeastern summer Louisiana.